Good morning, class, and welcome to week two midweek check-in. This week we covered identifying attacks, identifying threats, specific attacks. I have a few examples here that I wanted to show you. This first one is the Nigerian scam email, fairly common email to get. As we look at this email and evaluate it, we as security explorers can easily see that there are problems with in this email. Starting at the first line, Florent Luis at Western Union payout officer. We see who is talking to us. We see what company he's with. But if we evaluate the info at creditpaths.com, we do not see that it is not Florent's name, or it's not at westernunion.com. So that should set off a few alarms immediately, telling us that this is not a legit email. Emails like this, what they do is appeal to the greed and humanity. I always gave this email the similarity to John Jay and Rich doing the War of the Roses, where they try to catch people by offering them something for free. Caveat with this life is that nothing is really for free, even though it looks for. This second image right here is ransomware. Ransomware shows up, as we see, in almost every different language. Basically, it takes your data and encrypts it, makes it no longer readable by the user. You usually have to pay these people money to get that access to that data once again. It is at that point, I would have a hard time. If I was a criminal, I would have a hard time saying, if you paid me $800, what's the likelihood you're going to pay a few $100s more if I don't release it? Not a very sketchy scenario. I'll have a story about this that we'll get to in a second. Oops, where did my other picture go? I don't know where my other picture went. With the ransomware attacks, we'll just get to that story. With the ransomware attacks, there was a incident last year that happened at FRCC. One of the people on the campus got a phishing email that had malware on it. Basically, the malware was the encryption, the BitLocker encryption software. Well, it wasn't really BitLocker. It was their version of BitLocker. But what it did was ransomwared the information at Westminster, encrypted it, locked it, and then basically told the user, call this number so you can start to initiate access to your information again. Of course, if RCC didn't pay the money, there's precautionary measures in place to avoid scenarios like that simply by doing backups. Since this incident happened on a morning the night before, the response team was able to erase the current data, get rid of all the encrypted stuff and the malware, and then actually just back up from the night before's backup. I think I slightly jumped ahead, or maybe not. For this week, what's going on here? For this week, pay attention to the due dates. Each week is only accessible when we're working on it per week. That's to give you guys the best staying on track. Week 1 was available from January 15th to January 23rd. We can look at it on the 15th. We can look at it on the 23rd. We're able to actually work in between those lines, those time frames. So from the 16th to the 22nd, we're able to click on links, open up that data, and actually access that content within there. Besides that, I give you a day before so we can look at preview next week's stuff, and the day after, just so you can kind of review of, hey, what did I learn that week? As we go into this week, with the discussions, or there was one question proposed. Are the assignments recommended or are they required? They are required. They should take you not a lot of time. If you're having issues like I had with the server, just simply, close out, um, close out of the server, close out where it takes you, and simply just restart it again. Hopefully, you'll get a better connection. When it comes Sunday, make sure you do a submission. Even if it's incomplete, make sure you get points. As it said in the syllabus, the optional automatic A requirement is that you have all coursework in to be eligible for that. And that's the optional A, automatic A, if you pass the MTA, meeting all the requirements for that. This week's extra credit assignment is to try social engineering out in the community. This is a relatively easy thing to do. It will take you some interactions with the people around you. I would tell you to try it on a stranger. Let's think about what are security questions that you usually ask. What's the name of or what color was your first car? Where were you born? What was the name of your favorite dog, or what was the first dog? Just strike up a conversation wherever you're at. Start talking to people. And maybe you start. Maybe they start talking about their truck, and you say, "Hey, you know what? What was your first truck?" "Oh, hey, it was a Ford Pinto. Blue Ford Pinto. Love that car." Um, but boom, they just gave you a piece of security information that, if you were an attacker, you could definitely use that. Once you completed that, post in the discussions with the term discussion. Make sure as you start it, this first part of the subject states extra credit. Extra credit, say, hey, look, I was talking to somebody. This is the information they gave me. It was, give me your true experience and share it with your classmates. And then you could just also either in there, I prefer to say, hey, if there's another place where you want to spend that extra credit, let me know. You don't have to say it in here. You can just IM me, but make sure you tell me if you want this extra credit to go somewhere else other than a test. So far, we're doing really good for this course. If you do have problems, make sure you reach out, schedule a call with me, email Josh, post it in the discussion forums where we're labs. Hey, I'm having a problem with this. Has anybody solved that? Make sure I try to get to everybody in here. Josh definitely tries to get to everybody too that emails him. I am more than willing to take your calls while I'm here on campus and even field calls when I'm at home. Not hard for me to do. There was one other thing that I wanted to reach up on in here. Oh, and it's escaping my mind at this point. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, DreamSpark. Use the DreamSpark account. Make sure you log in there, look around, explore that. Whole bunch of free software that you can use for free. If you have a question about that or about, hey, how do I get this free software or what should I do with this free software? Myself, I started a library of software in my OneDrive on the internet. So basically I have a terabyte of space on the internet that I know I'm not going to use. So I started filling that with ISOs of products offered within DreamSpark. But I store my keys on my own system at the house. Security, once again, just taking that extra precautionary step. So I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. I will check in Friday. If you have any questions, make sure to reach out, leave me a voicemail, email me. I do try to be available morning, noon, and night. And then on the weekends, I'll try to leave D2L open all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and be around to field questions for that.